The man who returned to give Jesus thanks also received wholesomeness in addition to the healing he earlier got. Don't get so carried away that you do not realize that the victory you are celebrating was the doing and expression of the power of God. We earlier said how dangerous it is to forget God after victory because it means you are dragging His glory with Him. Thank God in the midst of problems. Yes, you heard me right. Even in the midst of all the tribulations in your life, thank God. In fact, the best time to thank God is in the midst of the challenges. Do you remember the children of Israel before the mighty, impregnable wall of Jericho? Do you remember what God told them to do in the midst of that situation? He told them to sing, dance, and give thanks to Him. Listen to me, child of God. When you thank God in the midst of the problems, you have consciously invited Him into the battle because He inhabits the thanksgiving of His people. In the middle of the war, in the middle of the fight, in the middle of the tribulations, lift up your eyes to the hills, and instead of complaining, murmuring, and your wailing, lift up a song of adoration and thanksgiving to God and watch Him move into action. Many times in my life, I have found myself in the midst of situations and challenges that defy even my understanding in the first place. I couldn't even make out what the issues were, talking more than looking for solutions. In the middle of that confusion and initial panic, I tuned my heart to thanksgiving. And before I know it, the same issues that I couldn't fathom either become clearer for me to deal with, or more times than not, the challenges and challengers just dissipate the same way they came. Have you considered what the Bible says about how to thank God? There are different ways and manners in which you can go about the thanksgiving of God. In the Bible days, people thanked God with animal sacrifices and burnt offerings. You can thank God with your giving to the poor, to the work of God, and to His servants. You can thank God through worship, songs, writings, and poems, like King David and King Solomon did in the book of Psalms and the Songs of Solomon. You can thank God in dances and any expression of thanks to Him. But how exactly should you carry out these manners of thanksgiving? In the Spirit and in the truth. There is a generally accepted guideline on how to thank God and reverence Him. And Jesus communicated that in the book of John, chapter 4, verses 23 through 24. He said, "But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship Him. God is a spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth."